Le GERLI organise tous les ans un congrès en France et les organisateurs adaptent à leur spécificité thématique la thématique du congrès aussi.
Le congrès a lieu à Compiègne parce que depuis plus de 20 ans, nous travaillons sur les espèces lipidiques, leurs propriétés de ces lipides et de ces acides gras, que ce soit dans le domaine industriel, puisque nous avons beaucoup travaillé sur la lubrification et la chimie de ces lipides avec Total, la société Total, mais aussi sur la nutrition de ces espèces lipidiques ou ces acides gras, notamment au niveau des acides gras polyinsaturés tels que oméga 3 et oméga 6, puisque nous avons aussi beaucoup travaillé depuis plus de 20 ans avec la société Le Sieur.
The structures that are formed by lipids are important for drug delivery, so I'm in a pharmaceutical science institute. So we use the digestion of lipids as a means to dissolve drug and have the body absorb drug. But also we take lipids that naturally form these structures outside of the body and put them together for slow release applications for pharmaceutical as well.
Here at the GERLI meeting, I spoke about the role of omega-3 fatty acids in controlling inflammation. In my lab, we're very interested in identifying the effects of fatty acids, particularly omega-3s, and understanding their mechanisms of action. And to do that, we use model systems like cells in culture or animal models. Then we take those findings and apply them in human studies. So we do studies in healthy human volunteers to see if we can replicate the effects that we see in our model systems. And then often we also take those studies or those findings further into different patient groups. For example, people with cardiovascular disease, obesity, inflammatory diseases like arthritis, or hospitalized patients with particular conditions.
For now, we're focusing on cardiovascular diseases and diabetes. These are important areas in Singapore and elsewhere, and are clearly implicated with aberrant lipid metabolism, as you know. And then the last step in that process from basic science and analytics across these clinical trials is towards laboratory medicine. So we have a program now in place. This is an industry partnership as well as the one I just mentioned with the university, and it includes the hospital. So we have teamed up with laboratory medicine who will place the same type of technologies into their department of laboratory medicine for eventual adoption of new tests. So we see this, it's a 5-year program. We see this as a great model for engagement of basic sciences, translational sciences, and industry player for translation of technologies in lipidomics.
Aujourd'hui, donc, je suis là au congrès du GERLI, donc je suis membre du conseil scientifique du GERLI, et puis je viens aussi présenter des travaux, notamment des résultats de recherche clinique récentes. On a mené une étude d'intervention nutritionnelle chez des femmes à risque métabolique, des femmes ménopausées avec des taux de lipides dans le sang qui constituaient un risque au niveau cardiovasculaire. Et on leur a fait suivre une intervention nutritionnelle à base d'un concentré de bas beurre qui contient des graisses particulières dont nous avons montré qu'elles permettent d'améliorer le métabolisme du cholestérol. Donc je suis très contente de pouvoir montrer aujourd'hui d'autres résultats de cette étude à tous mes collègues conférenciers et participants au congrès du GERLI.
We're talking about using microorganisms for producing polyunsaturated fatty acids, but in this case we're talking about arachidonic acid. People don't tend to forget about this. It's an omega-6. When you talk to people, they say, well, doesn't that cause inflammation? Isn't that one of the omega-6s we don't like? And to some extent, they're right in adults. But what they forget is that in children, they're absolutely critical for their development, particularly for their mental and neural development, anything, in fact, up to the age of 6 years. And there isn't enough in the diet to do that. It has to come from somewhere. It's great if you can breastfeed, because that's the perfect way to get arachidonic acid, but that tends to fall off quite suddenly. And unfortunately, sadly, here in France, I was looking at figures that something like 70% of mothers actually stop breastfeeding before 6 months, which is really quite disturbing. So there has to be another source of arachidonic acid, either in formula or full-up formula, or perhaps in the various types of weaning foods that must be there.
Notre société GERLI organise à l'occasion l'occasion des congrès, la remise d'un certain nombre de prix, qui sont des prix de thèse qui encouragent les jeunes scientifiques qui viennent de soutenir leur thèse dans le domaine des lipides. Et puis, à chaque congrès, on remet aussi un certain nombre de prix de posters qui permettent de valoriser les meilleurs posters et donc les meilleures recherches effectuées par les étudiants dans les labos orientés vers les thématiques lipides.